let
Wanda.
me find where we're at.
There
Oh,
you
wait,
go.
nope. I gotta do this first.
There you go. You're going to get this thing figured out for it's
After
over
we've
with.
been on YouTube about 10, 12 years, I'm not.
I mean, I know what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here and watching what you're doing.
Ha.
You're getting it, though.
Very confident, aren't you?
Very confident. There
Okay.
we go. All right. Hello,
Don't you
guys.
have something to say to Darlene?
Oh, man. Ms. Darlene made a comment. She says, anyone suppose they're sitting here reading about all these comments before we go live? And Darlene, the answer would be yes. I do it lots of times. I sit here and get a kick out of some of the things that I hear and see and read.
Hey, Miss Sheila from Gulfport.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. We've got a lot of people popped in and
Yeah.
doing really good.
And hello to everybody, and a early happy Mother's Day to everybody. Wanda and I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yes.
Even though many people will have to work. I've seen some people here saying that they's going to be working tomorrow in their garden.
Glenn wants to know why we looking like bed. I got on a t-shirt.
While we looking
and
like
he's got
bed.
a t-shirt and do we have it kind of? I don't know. We're tired. Is
Well,
that what?
I ain't been long got home, but I've been working all day. But I got my ranch land shirt on. If I turned around, this is my ATV shirt. You see on the back of it, or UTV, should I say, not ATV.
Yeah, and I've been playing with grandkids all day. My daughter and her husband and my son, and 4 of my grandkids were here today. So I've been grandbabying all day.
Yeah.
And, you've been.
Ms. Wanda took them over to our other place and gave them a ride around the property and showed them, because some of them hadn't seen it.
Yeah, a couple of them hadn't seen it before. The rest of them had been over there a couple of times. And so I took them over for their first ride around the property. And then after I got back, I don't know if I hit a what do you call it, a stump?
Snag or whatever.
A snag or something. But just as I got back, my tire on my RTV went.
Yeah. Well, that was when you rode around the place here.
Yeah, but I mean, it was after I got back.
Yeah, after she come back from over there, she jumped on the ATV here,
So
or
now,
UTV, should
Happy
I say.
Mother's Day to me, I get a new tire.
Yeah, you get one new tire. Yeah, you get one new tire.
I get one new tire.
Yeah.
But the tires.
You know what I told them? I said, they overloaded it. You know? Now this is a heavy duty Kubota UTV. I mean,
with
this
2
is
seats, it holds a lot of
it's a
people.
RTV 1140, nice big diesel one. I told them, I said, all you people climbed on there and overloaded the thing, man.
Blew a tire.
Blew a tire out. No,
it's actually 9 years old.
It is.
It's not a new one. We bought it secondhand, and we knew when we bought it that the tires were older, and so they had been through a lot of cow something in their time.
Yeah, the guy who owned it before us owned a big ranch, and
Yeah.
and he run it through a lot of cow manure, fertilize, all kind of stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so we knew that eventually, but I don't know if I hit something or right when I got back here, what happened, but something happened.
Yeah.
And so we rode around for a while with it.
Oh man, boy, today has been hot. I don't know about where you guys live at.
We went from nice weather to hot this week.
Yeah, we went from the 40s and 50s in the morning. It's been in the mid 60s when we get up. And actually, when I go to Pecan Grove and I walk, the corn's like 9 feet tall now. And when I walk through the corn, the water on it gets me soaking wet in the mornings in a t-shirt. And it's actually pretty cold feeling because I come out, I'm like chilly, especially when you jump on the Ranger over there and you're driving and the wind's blowing in your face and you're wet and everything. But today we actually planted cantaloupes, watermelons, squash,
The yellow squash,
the
lima beans,
beans,
the green ones.
yes, those melons from.
Oh, Homestead Mama. Now I don't know what she goes by now on YouTube, but back 4 or 5 years ago, Homestead Mama Melissa came and visited us. She's been here a couple of 3 times.
Yeah.
And she brought us some melons. They're actually a type of cantaloupe.
Well, they're a Tennessee
It's a melon.
musk melon.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they had a really good taste. She brought us some and told us to save the seeds. And is it something she bred up? Didn't she say that?
She got them from Tennessee and grew them at her place in North Mississippi and brought us a couple of them, and we got the seeds out of them. Yeah, she said we could save the seeds from them.
So Melissa from Homestead Mamas, where we got the seeds, and we wanted to try them before the seeds get too old. We hardly ever plant anything like that, but with the freeze dryer, anytime you freeze dry any type of melons like that, it intensifies it.
It's really, really good. Yeah. But we got all that done. We hoed the garden a little bit. I don't think we didn't dig no onions today, or did we dig onions today? No, we didn't get no onions. We got all of them at Deep South have been dug, but Pecan Grove we still have quite a few of them over there. We picked a pile of the little round squash. I don't know what the name of them is, but they're
loving them.
The round zucchinis anyway. Look like softballs. Those things are so good. Miss Wanda has figured out a way to grate them up and make spaghetti out of them. And man, was that good. Because I can't eat regular wheat spaghetti, and this is my way of having spaghetti.
And then we got probably at least 100 plus spaghetti squash on them vines. I wanted to take a video today and just run down and show, because when you're walking it, I planted probably about a dozen plants. And now they've all run together because I keep laying them inside each other. And you can see under them, and you can see melons from this big, not melons, squash. This big down to this size, just all in there.
Everywhere. I mean, this has been one of the best gardens we have ever grown. Now, you know, something can happen to it tomorrow.
And this is new ground. So that shows you sometimes what new ground will do.
We did the soil test. We limed it like they told. I put half the lime, they said. I didn't put all the lime because it said if I was going to do it the way I did it, to do it in a 2-year process. So I did half the lime we're supposed to do. I fertilized it like they said to fertilize it. I done everything that the soil test said to do. And plus we're using the Electroculture. And man, it is literally, it's kicking it. I mean, it is kicking it. Now, here at Deep South Homestead, our Cherokee yellow wax beans.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Oh, those things are fantastic, guys. That's the best looking yellow wax beans I think we've ever planted.
Thank you, Kimmy.
Yes, thank you, Kimmy.
Yeah, the wax beans are just amazing. And we've been eating on the ones in the high tunnel. I planted both bush and the pole yellow wax beans in my high tunnel. We've been eating on those for at least a month, and they're still producing because I planted them in stages. Every time I went out there, I'd plant some more for about a month. So I keep getting new ones, and then the ones in the field will be canning probably Monday.
Oh yeah, the ones in the field, we should be able to can.
We should be able to can. There's plenty to can.
Smoking Swamp Outdoors says, question: how do I get rid of powdery white mildew? Thank you. God bless you. Shalom. You can mix milk and baking soda together, and you can spray them with that, and it does help. But I'm gonna be honest with you, with your name, I'm gonna guess you're probably somewhere in South Louisiana or South Texas or somewhere in that area.
Happy birthday, Wyatt.
Yeah, and it's very difficult when it's very humid and weather like we have. When it's been raining and then the humidity's so high and then the heat gets up there. Our heat index for the last, 3 to 4 days has been way over 100 degrees.
Yeah, we've been staying down in the 80s and possibly even high 70s.
Even high 70s, yeah.
And it was nice. The wind's been blowing, and in the Deep South, we love that because
we love it.
Usually it's hot. Winter, summer, spring, fall, it's just hot. No airflow. Daniel sit on the back porch and go, can we just have a breeze?
Yeah.
That's his big
That's my
famous saying. Can I just have a breeze? And so the last, 4 months?
Yeah.
We've had breezes
it was
every day.
windy today.
Oh, yeah, sitting on the pond?
Yeah, it was windy today. It was nice. It feels like March all over again. But Badonk says, bush hog or flail mower, what's best for fields? If you've got clean fields, a flail mower is fantastic. But if you don't, you got some bushes in it and stuff like that, then a bush hog is the best. You know, it's going to be your best route to go to get it under control. But flail mowers is like, I'm talking about, they're like a real mower. Them things do a really, really good job.
Yeah, and so tonight we are giving away one pair of the copper antennas from Hills Mills Homestead.
Yes, we are.
Mr. Mickey and Miss Kathy are making these and send them out, and I know a lot of you've tried them, and we've had a lot of flack from people saying it don't work, and maybe that we don't for them because they ain't tried it. But we've been trying it. We're working with it with theirs to see the comparisons with theirs, and you know, we can see a difference. Obviously, some of you guys can see the difference on the videos too, and we're not trying to hide anything. We fertilize everything the same, all at the same time. They get the rain. When one plant gets rain, all of them get rain.
Yep.
If they all dry up, they all dry up, because if it don't get watered, that's the way it's going to be.
Well,
you know,
we're going to see. Well, no,
same.
we're going to see with electroculture, because it's actually supposed to save on water. You know, I mean.
Yeah, and two, this is property that we've not grown on
We've never grown anything on this property.
So
never.
The water content and knowing how, you know, here it dries out. In 24 hours, you can pour water on something. 24 hours later, it's totally dry. Over there, it seems to hold moisture better. So we're going to figure that out, too.
Yeah. Dennis said, I planted me some antennas this week. Well, I hope you plan them. The thing we're running into with the electroculture antennas from Mr. Mickey is people are not using them accurately. They have to go on the south side of your plant, and that is very vital because of the way the current flows from the North Pole toward the equator, is to make sure you get them on the south side of the plant.
Eileen is sitting by a campfire listening to us. What a nice night. It has been beautiful out. I would love to be sitting by a campfire.
Campfires would be great at night.
Except it's hot. I'd had to back off some.
Well, I mean, in the mornings, it's real cool here in the mornings.
Somebody said the copper.
You're jumping it
the
around.
copper works, peeps. I have done it for years and years. That's Kimmy.
Yeah.
What brand overalls do you wear and why?
I wear a Roundhouse. They're American made. They're high back, which means they'll come up here way up in the middle of my back, because when they put me back together after a bad accident one time where I was torn all to pieces, one of my shoulders is an inch lower than the other one, and because of that, the gallops fall off my shoulder constantly if I use a low back. So the Roundhouse are high backs, and it keeps the gallops right up here around my neck, where they put me back together, because you can see my collarbone here where they had to do surgery and put that one back together. They had to do surgery and put this one back together, and they're all crooked now and sticking out and everything. So the Roundhouse really keeps the overalls right in here and keeps them off of these two collarbones that's sticking up about an inch high on each side, where they had to wire them back together in me.
Yeah. So we do want to give away a set. Mickey and Kathy have contacted me. I was supposed to give away a set last week, and I was so tired last week from dealing with the funeral and being at the church all day till I forgot till after the live stream.
Yeah.
So, but what can we do to...
Oh, Lady Hammer's asking, is electroculture like grounding for people? No, it's not like grounding for people. Electroculture is gathering the current and the magnetic fields that's in the atmosphere, and it's pulling them back down into the soil so that your soil can benefit from it and your plants can benefit from it. It excites everything in the soil and gets the minerals to working and everything. It's really, really good.
Okay. Dano says, I'm an electrician. I might make a crap load.
Hey, I'm an electrician too. That's the reason. I've been doing this for over 30 years. And I'm an electrician.
Danny learned about this through, what was the guy's name?
Back years and years
80s?
In the 80s. I used to listen to a man called Jerry Baker.
And he still has YouTube videos.
There are still some videos up about him. And Mr. Baker never did call it electroculture, even though when I saw what he was doing, he was talking about using pantyhose and static electricity, running copper wires around the garden and stuff. back then I started doing research and I realized it went all the way back to the 1700s and even earlier than that. People was learning about it, and then I got to reading documents from France and from different places over there where they was using it over there. Great Britain was using it after the World Wars. Then chemical fertilizers come into existence, and let's just say kickbacks got started with government programs and stuff like that. I was reading the first Congress's documents on electroculture and stuff, and guys, big companies got involved and kickbacks started happening, and they pushed it all under a rug, and they hid a lot of the information that they had, men for hundreds of years had done research and found out, and all the benefits of it and stuff like that. Even the U.S. Department of Agriculture was actually promoting it for years here in the United States, and then it was just swept under the rug because of big ag and chemical companies.
Okay, so Lisa's asked a couple of times, so I stopped it. How much fish emulsion is too much?
I don't know that you could put too much fish emulsion on anything because it's not that powerful, but it does a fantastic job, mainly with small seedling plants and squash. Now, when you got squash that's blooming, you want to either use fish emulsion or you want to use Dr. Earth's Bloom and Grow.
No, Golden
Bloom.
And the pink and white.
Yes, a liquid phosphorus. It stinks to high heaven, just like fish emulsion. And I think we use it around our squash, and we don't have any squash bugs.
Yeah, so far, but now we've seen the signs of some armyworms here and there, especially the corn?
The corn has had a few armyworms.
Then we've seen signs of, is it flea beetles?
Flea beetles, we've been seeing a few signs of flea beetles on some of the leaves.
Yeah, on different things, but not on most of those squash.
Right.
And the tomatoes, we hadn't had a worm on the tomatoes yet, and that's just like
amazing. That is like amazing.
I may go there tomorrow and they maybe eat down, but
so far,
new land and stuff, not knowing it, I would have thought the worms would have found it like pronto and eat it all down, but they hadn't yet. Now somebody else, Jan is asking how many times to coil per antenna?
Mickey Mike can answer that better than I could, but I'm going to say not less than 7. I would say 7 or more. And the only reason I say 7 is because 7 is the first of 4 perfect numbers mentioned in the Word of God. I mean, I just go back to the Bible with it. 7 is actually divine perfection in the Word of God. So I think, why not do 7? You know, I mean, that's my theory behind it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, you just scrolling through here now. I'm losing my way.
No, I hadn't got back to the normal. Okay, are we?
Yeah, we're back to normal.
We're back
now.
At normal. Okay, so
we had to skip a whole bunch because she stopped it and then it just jumped ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know some of the questions. You'll have to.
Oh, I agree with Kathy. Now, Kathy said also colloidal silver fell from favor when they made antibiotics, no side effects, viral, antibacterial. I agree with that 100%.
I have used this since the 90s. Back in the 90s, I had a preacher that he would go to the mountains, and he learned about the colloidal silver back in the late 80s. Yeah. And he was making it. He had his own little machine. He showed me how he made his machine and stuff. And he said, this is how the people in the mountains, this is all they use. And where he was going and preaching, that they had showed him that. So he gave me a bottle of it to bring home. He made me my first bottle. And so my husband at the time, he was an electrician. He said, okay, he used 3 9-volt batteries. So he said, I'm going to see if I can find a converter. So we went into an electronics shop and asked for a converter that was close to the 27 volts that the 3 9-volt would be, where we could convert it, and I'm saying that right, convert, not invert?
Yeah, you're converting it. Yeah.
Converting it into a plug, a 110. And so they had a little thing there that would do that, and it was like $30.
Right.
So he hooked it up and made my first, I used it even after Danny and I were married. I used it for like 15 years or 20. And then it burned up while I was here, and Danny I found another converter, and Danny made me a second one. So I'm on my second machine.
Deborah says, does the copper coil hurt worms in the soil? No, it does not hurt the worms in the soil.
Yeah.
Mr. Danny, how do y'all deal with poison ivy? Well,
I stay away from it.
Ms. Wanda stays away from it. I mow it down. I can lay down and roll in it. It don't bother me. But she is definitely bad with it. So we just mow it down. We don't. You keep it mowed regularly, it'll eventually die out.
Okay.
Can you use the copper wire implanter boxes on a porch? Yes, Lori. You can use the copper wire anywhere. You can use it indoors, outdoors, in a greenhouse, high tunnel,
all right.
Containers, whatever.
Vanessa Simo, S-I-M-O. Vanessa Simo. Can you send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com, and we will send you your first set of Electroculture copper antennas. So Vanessa Simo, S-I-M-O, because she said I'm a beginner and I'd like to learn how. I'll send you the first ones. So we have our winner, Vanessa.
Yep. Vanessa, send us your information, please, to which email?
deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com.
Okay. Okay. Let's see
now,
here.
I wanted to show the books while I'm thinking.
Okay.
Oh, we need to talk about that right quick.
This? I will.
Talk about it now, and then later I'll
we had a lady contact us, thanking us.
Wait, not that one. We need an email. We need to talk about the emails right now. Is what I'm talking about. Not necessarily that. The emails we get. Remember? You're back. I've had you going backwards. The email about the lightning.
Well, that's where I was going.
Don't talk about this one.
I wasn't.
Okay.
You just jumped in here ahead of me.
I thought you were saying that.
No.
I was making sure you weren't going
No.
the wrong direction.
When I said we had a lady contact us, she contacted us through email.
Yes. Okay.
That's
now.
like common sense.
Gotcha.
A lady contacted us through an email, and she was thanking us because with all this bad weather we've been having going on everywhere, and I could go into this really, really deep, but we've got a lot of magnetic field stuff happening now around the earth, and our thunderstorms are producing tons of lightning. Well, this lady sent us an email thanking us. She had bought an EMP shield and had it put on her house, and her house got struck by lightning. Well, in the event that when this event took place, the EMP shield, of course, didn't burn up, but it protected everything in her house, and she didn't lose anything.
And she contacted the company.
She contacted the company, and the company was more than willing to work with her. She said she had some of the best response from them that she had ever had from a company, and she sent us an email thanking us for turning her on to the EMP shield because it protected everything in her house and she didn't lose anything, where she would have had stuff burnt up when lightning struck her house. So we're always grateful when we get people to send us these messages like this, because guys, they do work. You get a $25,000 standalone policy with them. If you get lightning
something
policy.
does burn up in your house.
Yes. That's why we encourage people. If you don't believe in EMPs or coronal mass ejections, well, you'd be an idiot if you didn't. But I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't get them just for the lightning protection. We've got one on everything on our house here. We got one here. We put one out toward the shop out there. I mean, I've got them stuck everywhere just because of the lightning protection. I mean, that means a lot. I've been struck by lightning 2 times in the last 10 years, and I've lost 2 air conditioning big units inside the house. I've lost computers, all kinds of electrical components in the house and stuff like that. And I was like, nope. When I found out that, I said, I'm getting it. And we did. So,
and we also have them on the car, the tractors, the generator, the Rangers. We put it on everything just to be safe. We'd rather not.
Solar systems. I've got them for our solar systems. I've got
now, there's only a lightning strike on the house.
Yeah, the lightning strike only counts for
policy.
That. Now, we're not talking about surge protector, because it's not a surge protector. We're talking about a direct lightning strike here.
Yeah.
Um.
Chat is not moving. Okay, I don't know. I haven't seen.
Ours just
Ours
moved.
just moved one time. It's not moving
Yeah.
continuously. So,
Do the EMP shields continue to work after receiving an EMP, or do they only work one time? According to the information, I was inside the company looking, and according to the information that they gave me while I was there, was that the instruments took multiple hits without damaging the EMP shields. The same rigorous testing that goes into all military equipment and all that stuff was done to this equipment, and it still kept on clicking. I forgot how many times they told me that it was hit, but it was way up there, and it still kept working.
yeah. Okay, so do any of you use EMP shields and have them, or you're not interested in them? I would just kind of curious because
we're curious about your
with,
thoughts on the EMP shields. I mean, do you think you would like? I mean, what do you think about the 12-volt ones? What do you think about the ones for the houses? I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean,
because we work with companies that we trust.
Yes.
And if we, I mean, actually, when Danny started talking to the guys at EMP Shield, I'm like, "Are you sure about this?" He said, "I'm not sure yet." He said, "They've got to show me their proof." And when they did, he come out and he says, "I'm sure now." He said, "I understand the process."
Yeah.
Now I don't understand.
I got to answer it. Mr. Danny and Ms. Wanda, would y'all say good night to our children, Birdie and Albie? Am I saying that right?
Where's it at? I don't see it.
Right here.
Birdie and Albie.
Albie.
Good night,
good
kids.
night. Good night, kids. Birdie and Albie. Good night. Y'all sleep good, and come back and watch us again tomorrow whenever you get up.
Yeah, we'll have. I got a video for tomorrow. I had to stop and think. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We will have one tomorrow. So I'm losing the EMP shield. I was kind of trying to see what people were saying here.
People are saying,
several are saying they would like to try. Some have it on their house and tractors.
D says they got 5 of them.
Yeah. I do have, Eagle Lover says, I have EMP shield on car and trying to find someone to install one on the house, but they need one for a generator. I have 2, one on the house and one on the car. I ordered mine for the house, but have not found anybody to install it. Another one says they have them. How hard are they? You did one on the house.
We've got videos showing you how to hook them up to the house. I mean, it's very simple. But if you don't know, if you don't understand electricity, then it's best that you do hire somebody to do it. But they need to even understand that they have to be hooked on the A/B sides of everything. You can't just hook them both to the same one side of a box. You got to hook them to each leg coming into the house. Yeah, you got to know
a little bit about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and I have a reason for asking these questions and wanting to know your
Darlene says
thoughts.
she's setting a budget for her EMP.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. We had a lot of stuff come through. Now, we got these books called Lessons from a Sheepdog, and I've been reading through some of it. And this, it's about a dog named Lass. It's actually a female dog named Lass, and her owner, and the lessons that the owner got, spiritual lessons by watching the dog and applying it to biblical principles. So, any of y'all have a which I need a way to give them away. Anybody got dogs and would like to learn a little bit more about Lass, the sheepdog? I think it's a sheepdog. Yeah, it says sheepdog. I remember when I was reading, I didn't remember it was in the title. But if you're interested in the books, I'll send 2 of them out. We'll find a couple of winners and send them out.
Somebody asked, do I have, how do I protect my solar generator? I really and actually do not own a quote-unquote solar generator. We have power stations, and then we have a solar system. Now, I have the EMP shield for the solar system, and you have to call the company and tell them what you have, whether you have 12 volt, 24 volt, 48 volt, all this kind of stuff. You have to tell them what you have, and they will guide you accordingly about which one is correct.
All right, B.
Gatlin.
Gatlin, B. Gatlin. Send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com. We need one more.
I don't know. You move everything so fast. I
just
can't read that fast.
All right, read one and pick one out.
I mean,
I'm letting Danny pick the other one out. But B. Gatlin, send me an email.
Is that right there? Is it be Grandma B or Granddaughter?
Grandma B says her granddaughter loves learning about dogs. So Grandma B, send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com. Now I'm leaving it up to y'all that I've told you send me. If you don't send me one, I'll give it away to somebody else later.
Okay, this question went through several times. I got to catch it. Carlin Porter says, will a street light mess up your garden? And the answer to that is really yes. You do not want any light source at night around your garden. Okay, where most people mess up with a garden is they have a light source shining at their garden at night. The moths that lay the eggs on things come to those lights. And if you have light around your garden, all you're doing is inviting the moths to come to your garden spot to lay their eggs, to reproduce, and their caterpillars and stuff like that eat up your garden. A garden at night should be in pitch black. There should be no light anywhere around a garden.
All right, the EMP shield protects. Somebody said that they didn't, their central air condition burned up after a surge. Now, a surge is different.
A surge is totally different. They're not a surge protector.
Yeah, it's EMP and lightning.
Yeah.
And it pretty much states that. Now, surges are because lightning struck something else and sent the surge through the line.
Well, no, surges can come from a limb swaying against a power line, and the power lines get to sway and touching one another back and forth like that, causing surges through the power line.
That. Yeah.
And that is not, they are not protectors against that.
EMP.
Now, you can call your power company and have a surge protector put on your meter base on your house outside. Ours didn't cost anything, and they will do that for you for free if or our power company did. Now, I'm not going to say yours will, but ours did.
All right, somebody's asking, do you have to use a surge protector on items in your home when you have an EMP to get the cash if your house is hit by lightning?
You don't have to.
I don't know about that now.
You don't have to have you don't have to have a surge protector on your home if it gets hit by lightning.
I think they're talking about like for computers and stuff like, see, I have this thing here.
No. You don't have to have all that.
I do have it for my
We have it as a
yeah.
backup just in case something goes crazy. Danny, aren't surge protectors go on the pole? You can get them on the pole, or mine's inside my meter base out here. They come and took my meter out and put mine in the meter base, or you can have them put on the transformer. You can have it done either way.
All right, the founder of EMP says it is a surge suppressor.
Yeah.
All right, so now, where are we at? My garden looks like an alien landing zone from all the solar lights.
That would not be good, Lady Hammer, having all those lights in the garden, because you'll end up with all kind of insect problems, and that's what
we did that with the deer. We had the light to keep the deer out of our garden. We wanted the light to come on, and we got to noticing how the bugs were hitting like our greens and stuff, and I just eating them up, and then it dawned on Danny. He said, we're inviting them in, So you have to be careful. And in that garden, I did put some of those little solar lights all over the place, and I was bringing the bugs to the light, So I understand that.
Jeff said, got some Mirasaki slips today, hoping to plant them tomorrow. Ours are doing fantastic. All the sweet potato slips we got from Hall's Tool, they arrived looking beautiful. We put them in the ground. They're all doing fantastic, and I'm excited about them because they are really doing good.
Yeah, all our sweet potato slips are doing really, really good.
Now, did we put the video out about the? Yeah, we put the video out showing the sweet potato slips. And the plants with the blooms and all on them. Yeah, we done put that video out.
Yes.
Yes.
I've got another. I think I can't remember what the one is coming tomorrow. I did it a couple of days ago, so I'm.
Carlin Porter says, do we have any dogs? No, we do not have any dogs because dogs will give you away in a SHTF situation that will get you killed. And we do not want anything like that around.
Danny had one when he and I married, and
I had him for 12 years. He was a West Highland White Terrier, very intelligent dog. He was a house dog, but he loved going outside. He loved hunting squirrels. I mean, the dog was probably one of the most intelligent animals I've ever seen. He traveled with me everywhere I went, and when I had to put him down, I said then, I'm not going to ever own another dog. But then Miss Wanda got one and then brought it in, and a yellow cur, and then he ended up running away because he was smelling something in the woods. I don't know what happened, but he took off and he never came back. I don't know if he got into a bunch of coyotes. I don't know what happened to him.
All right, I'm trying to read Allison's thing, so go ahead.
Do the galvanized staples for the weed barrier hurt the soil? If so, how do we counteract it? No, I don't think the galvanized staples do because they are coated in zinc, and zinc is actually very beneficial to the soil. So I don't think you're going to have a problem using galvanized ones. I'm trying to read some of this. Oh, let's see here. Can you... Okay, Trisha says, can you plant sweet potatoes as well as regular potatoes in the same container? No, because sweet potatoes are actually not potatoes. Sweet potatoes are in the morning glory family. They're actually a vining plant, and they need to be in total separate pots. Regular potatoes require a pH of 5.5. Sweet potatoes require a pH of probably around 6.8 or a little bit more. And they will not grow in the same soil. If you raise the pH of an Irish potato or red potatoes, whatever you want to call them, up, then they will develop what's called an alligator skin on the outside of them, and they'll get cracks all in them, and they'll kind of look like this crackle paint finish that people put on their cabinets. And you don't want to do that. So the answer is no.
Okay. Oh, let's see. A lot of people are talking about dogs and different things. Is June the 11th law change on vet meds going to affect you? We don't take any meds.
We don't take any kind of meds. We don't do vet meds. We don't get meds for our cows. We don't get meds for nothing. So.
Oh, they're talking about vet for the cows and stuff. Okay, I thought you were asking like a vet for okay, never mind.
No, we don't. None of that affects us in any way. How do you protect your power banks from EMP? Power stations, I'm guessing what they're talking about.
The little ones we have?
Yeah, the little ones we have. I don't know that they're actually going to be affected by anything, and if they are, they just are. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that because there's not really, they're all internal components in it. There's no way we can really hook anything to it to protect it. Other than you could put them in a garbage can if you were just storing them. You could make a Faraday cage out of a all metal garbage can and set them down in it. That might be okay. But other than that, I don't know that there's anything we can do.
Have we used worm casting byproducts in our greenhouse to start seeds?
Yes, we use worm castings, and that's where we got the rogue tomato plant that we got from. Danny, will a 3/4 inch copper pipe work for electroculture? Yes, any copper pipes, wire, anything like that will work for electroculture. As a matter of fact, if you put the copper pipes in the ground and make you an antenna on the top of it, you can actually pull in a lot more currents into your soil by doing that.
All right, so Carlin is asking, do you halter break your cattle? If so, or what are some tips? Now, I ordered halters for the two new ones, Hadassah and Shushan, because Tam, the lady we got them from, was trying to work with them. Hadassah had been wearing a halter for over a week and was trying to get used to it, and she has a halter on right now, but I had to order a bigger one. And Shushan has never had one on, so we're going to see.
We're going.
She's very loving and very easy, and Tam had been working with her, getting her used to being touched and stuff. So we're going to see next week. I actually got the halters in yesterday, but Danny said medium according to the weight.
Yeah, they said a medium would fit a 600-pound calf, and I sort of said, well, 600 pounds is about maximum weight of these animals. So we ordered them, and they got here, and they won't near fit their head. So I'm like, okay, just get the large.
Okay.
Danny, can you save Better Boy seeds? Well, you can save them, but I don't think you'll know what you're going to get back if they're a hybrid. I mean, they won't come back as a Better Boy.
Give me one of those books. Somebody's asking about the book and the name. It's Lessons from a Sheepdog by Philip Keller. And the name is Philip Keller, Keller.
Okay, they're asking what's the best spacing for cucumbers and cantaloupes in the garden. Cucumbers and cantaloupes, I space mine about every 3 feet apart in rows 3 feet apart because they're really going to spread out and grow pretty good. And that's my personal spacing that I do is 3 by 3 in all directions.
Oh, Amanda said her girls Josie and Gabby watch every Saturday night. Hey Josie, hey Gabby.
I always love when the young ones learn like that. I mean, it's always really beneficial.
Yeah, I had the grands here today, and I love watching them. And they got to go fishing for a little while, and of course Abigail caught too. She's only, I think, 6.
Yeah.
And she usually catches most of the fish. Kate and Brianna were out with a dip, and they had Danny come up and he goes, "What are those two doing?" Because he wasn't there to start with, and he came up, and I said, "They're catching fish," and
little fish about
they were sprawled out on the
that long,
pier.
Literally, little fish about that long they were catching,
and they were hanging over the side looked like dead people laying across the pier. And he goes, "What are they doing?" And then he could see their arm with that dip net going down. And he actually caught several.
Lisa's asked this a couple of times. I've seen it go by. I just hadn't had a chance to answer it. At what age do I feed oyster shell to my chickens? They are 9 weeks now. I would wait till they're egg laying age. Whatever breed you got and whatever age they start laying eggs, I would feed them the oyster shells once they started laying eggs because at that point they'll need the extra calcium in their system to make their eggshells harder anyway. Now they'll make eggs, but most times the shells won't be hard.
Thank you, Flora. She says she watched my blueberry cheesecake video today over on CRAZY DAZES, and it's DAZES. And I did see somebody has done a CRAZY DAZES Homestead, but they didn't spell it DAZES. So somebody has taken the name CRAZY DAZES. So if you pop it up, mine don't have a Homestead on the back, and mine has a Z in it.
Lori says, do you know anything about the Three Sisters Garden? I know a lot about Three Sisters Garden. I also know I did a video here the other day.
I think that must be the one coming up Monday.
Is that the one coming up Monday?
I think.
Okay, we shot a video the other day with me talking about the Three Sisters Garden and what I learned from for this area, from older people and from the Native American people about Three Sisters gardening and how it actually really works and how we've been lied to about it. So get ready for the video coming up. I don't know when you got it coming up. Probably Monday? Okay, Monday there'll be a video coming up, and I will be talking about the Three Sisters garden in that video.
Jeff and his wife have put up 74 quarts of green beans.
Yes! I love to see people doing that.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I need poppy seed. Poppy seed to send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com because I need your address, please. And we'll explain why in a few minutes.
Randy says, have you ever grown asparagus beans? Yes, we have. They get about 3 feet long.
Hey, Carlos.
We literally didn't care for the taste of them too much.
I hated them.
They just didn't have the bean taste that we were looking. They were more of an asparagus taste, and it just.
Now, I like asparagus, but I didn't like them.
But we didn't like that. We love asparagus, but we didn't like the asparagus bean.
Okay.
What should I fertilize my sweet potatoes with? I actually saw that one come through way a while ago. I fertilize my sweet potatoes with very low nitrogen, something like 8-24-24. You want a lot of phosphorus because it is a root crop, but you don't want a lot of nitrogen because you're not looking for a ton of vines. You're looking for roots to grow, and that's why you want to load up on phosphorus as much as you can.
Okay, I guess I'm going to have to ask the question.
What?
Does anybody need an EMP for a car? Let's see if we get any answers, because I was looking for someone to say something about that, and we haven't had it. And the reason I asked Poppy Seed for an email, she had stated that she would like an EMP shield for her house, but she couldn't afford one right now. So we are going to bless her with an EMP shield for her house. And we also have one to bless somebody for a car. So we got to see if there's anybody around that could use one for a car.
Okay, the copper goes inside the pots, not on the outside the pots. And yes, you can grow sweet potatoes in pots.
Linda Dykes is the first one I saw, I believe. So Linda Dykes, could you send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com, and that way show them the EMP shields, and let me see the name on it, because just the first name.
Connie.
Miss Connie sent us these this week, so y'all can thank Miss Connie for these. She sent them and said, would you please bless somebody that cannot afford to buy one right now.
Now, here is one. This is what they look like. I'll get it right where I get the camera. This is what they look like for the car. They come with three wires right here.
Now, I did a video of doing it myself on Crazy Days.
Wanda hooked hers up to her own car. The red one has a fuse to it, a fusible link. It goes to the positive side of the battery. The black one goes to the negative side of the battery, and the green one attaches to the frame. That's how simple it is on your car. And the back of the EMP shield here has a peel off. I can't. My fingernails has been tore off. I can't get it.
Peel it off.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, it's Velcro.
It's Velcro, like this right here.
I thought it was peeling it
no,
off.
you get a Velcro piece to go on the back of it that actually sticks to it, and
then you can put.
Then the red stuff peels off the back, and then you can stick it to something under the hood. And if that don't work, you can drill and put some little screws, some sheet metal screws in these 4 holes right here on each side of it to hold it up. Now, Miss Wanda's car, we had to reach up under her firewall and actually screw them down because hers fell off on top of the motor in there. But
yeah, mine didn't. My sticky didn't stay like it should because it didn't have very much room in there.
Right.
And Danny had to redo after I got through with mine, but mine does have the screws in it.
Yeah.
After I got it up.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what the one for the automobile looks like. Let me get it back in the thing here.
All right, now Robin says her car is a 2012. Does age matter?
Yes, age does matter. If you're like 19, I'm gonna take a. It's been a long. Well, it's been a long time since I did mechanic work. I'm gonna probably say 1984. If you're pre-1984, you're probably okay.
It doesn't have the electronics.
As long as you don't have any electronic ignition systems on it. As long as you got points and condensers and don't have electronic modules and all that kind of stuff, you're okay.
They do make them for motorcycles.
Yes, they make them for motorcycles. It's a very small one. I have one. I put one on my generator.
Yeah, we put the small one on the generator.
This one is. I hate to take it out of the pack. I'm not going to undo it, but
it looks similar to that one.
It looks just like the other one. This one's still wrapped up, but you have 4 wires in this one here, and that's really simple. You got a white that's a neutral, a green that's a ground, black and a red hooks to the 20 amp breakers.
Okay, Miss Joan, I have to laugh. Miss Jones says, I've never driven, which is a blessing for pedestrians.
Well, if you've never driven, it probably is a blessing for pedestrians.
Oh, that is funny. Oh, okay. So, now we've given away all our stuff. You guys, y'all have to send me emails because I won't ever remember who done what. So, it's up on y'all to send me emails. And I need an address. And I will get those out this week.
Jeff says, I used your method for germinating carrots and I have carrot fur coming up.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. It's not hard. If you follow our directions, it is not hard.
That is the same EMP. The car and truck are the
Car
same.
and truck are the same thing. Tractor, same thing. I mean, all of them's all the same. Any 12 volt is the same thing. How many sweet potato slips per 10-gallon grow bag? Probably a 10-gallon, I would only do 2.
All right, how much red crimson clover would it take for 2 acres?
Whoo, how much red crimson clover for 2 acres? There's a formula that goes with that. I'm trying to remember. 5 pounds covers so many square feet, and I don't actually remember it right off the top of my head. But whoever you're buying them from, it should tell you how big of an area it will do.
All right, Grace Dale has been asked, and I meant to ask you, fertilizer recommendation for asparagus in a container in a high tunnel.
You want like an 8-24-24 again, or a 10-10-10. You don't want nothing high in nitrogen. You want something that's got a lot of phosphorus and potassium in it, because it is basically a root crop, and you need to let it go for 2 to 3 years before you harvest anything off of it, so that it can build a good root crop. Don't cut the fern thing down when it grows up. Let it grow and put on the berries. Let it do all it needs to do till it just dies. And just do that for 2 or 3 years, and it actually builds a better root system when you do that.
Hello, Jasper. He said, could I say hi to him?
Yeah, Jasper.
Hello, Jasper.
Yes.
Little Lena says, I have carrots coming up from last year.
Yes.
Planting blueberries and raspberries in containers, what fertilizer would be good?
You want well, first of all, you want to make sure you got 2 different pHs there to work with. The blueberries need a 5.5. The blackberries need probably a 7, or a little around, well, let's say 6.5 to 7 in that area. So you got to make sure that you get the pH right, is more important than the actual fertilization of them. So take care of those 2 things, and the rest of it, the blackberries just need a good compost. That's all they really need.
All right. S. Harvey said, would a complete garaged cub farm all for $850 be worth it? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes,
it would
sir.
be well worth it, Mr. Harvey.
Very much so. Yeah, if you find it for that price, they're usually 4 times that.
Yeah, Burnswag says, best place to purchase sweet potato slips. The best place we found was Hoss Tool. And I would do it pretty quick, because I'm pretty sure they're going to sell out pretty quick, as many people are buying them.
What do we do for a broody hen? We don't have a broody hen.
We don't have any broody hens.
I bought ISA Browns.
Yeah.
And they're a hybrid Rhode Island Red with something else. I don't forgot what it is. So we don't breed those. We just use them as egg layers, because they're the best egg layers we've had in the last few years.
Yeah.
And so we don't have broody hens.
R.E. Hendricks says, where's the best place to buy EMP Shield? Thanks. Look down in our link down below, and you will see a link in the description, or in the description, should I say, and you'll see a link to EMP Shield. If you use the code that's there, you get $50 off of your purchase.
Dee is putting up the link, Hendricks. She's putting up a link there.
Yes, Hendricks, she's giving you the link.
Okay. How much, when it gets to canning time, will you make tomato ketchup? Probably not.
Not this year, because we didn't plant any tomato plants hardly, because we have so many canned tomatoes from years in the past, and we got to eat some of them up before
Danny and I don't eat a lot of tomatoes, just being honest. We eat fresh tomatoes.
We eat fresh ones, but we don't eat a lot of canned ones.
And I don't make a lot of things with tomatoes. Now, I did make a gumbo last year that I love. So if we have the okra and the tomatoes and the onions and peppers and garlic, I will probably make that gumbo mix. Danny's been eating it on rice, and he likes it that way. I like to add a little bit more spices to it and then eat it on rice. So things like that we use a lot, but just plain tomatoes, I don't add them to hardly anything. We're not big spicy people anyway.
Randy says, what percentage shade cloth is on your high tunnels? We have 40% shade cloth on our high tunnels, Randy. We found that to be the best for our area.
Okay, somebody,
Okay,
Texas Chopper said they got their sweet potato slips from Hall's Tools and they didn't look really good. They looked terrible when they got them, but they're great now. Sweet potato slips is something, unless they're just totally dead, they will come back. We have planted, over the years, we've gotten some from local places that I told Danny, I said, do not spend money on those. They looked dried up, shriveled up, they looked horrible. He planted them. We grew the best sweet potato. So don't give up on something that looks bad if it's a sweet potato.
Smoking Swamp Outdoor says, how do I tell when my cowpeas are ready for harvesting? That really depends on which one of the cowpeas you planted. I mean, when they're full, is probably the best time to harvest them. Don't wait till they start drying or anything like that, and don't pick them too early. If you pick them too early, they won't have no peas in them at all. Which Jadam book do y'all use? Ms. Wanda has jumped up to go get them. She saw the comment and she took off.
We actually have two. We have the Jadam Organic Farming, and make sure you get it in English.
Yeah, make sure it's in English and not Korean.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Lots of good information here. And the other one is for pest and disease control. You pretty much need this one before you do this one, but both of them have the same information, but this one goes into the principles and more on plants, where this one talks more about the disease and the bugs. So both of them are excellent to have, and we do have a link in the description, I think, for both of them.
I bought sweet potato slips called Beauregard. I've never planted these before. Are they any good? Yes.
Very
the Beauregards are really good sweet potatoes. Melissa says, I got my Electroculture antenna last week already. 10% growth on my pink lemonade blueberries.
Awesome.
Awesome. I mean, I'm telling you people, this, I'm going to wait. I'm going to save this to talk about later. But let's see here.
We are in Mississippi. We're 30 miles from the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yeah. Do we ever plant broccoli or cauliflower? Yes, Swisher Family Homestead, we plant broccoli. We don't hardly ever plant cauliflower because in the heat of our summers, cauliflower turns yellow unless you have time to fold the center leaves over and tie them up and bind them. They turns yellow, and it just doesn't have a very appealing look to it. Doesn't change the taste of it, but we just don't do a lot of cauliflower.
All right, y'all give us a thumbs up. Gina's right. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Tomatoes are wonderful in soup and beans, yes.
Yeah.
I just don't cook like that. Danny's stomach has gotten very sensitive to a lot of stuff, and I have to give him tomatoes in limited amounts. Now, fresh doesn't seem to faze him too much, but now when I start doing a whole lot of anything with tomatoes, so I've cut back, and we hardly use any. I mean, I guess spaghetti sauce. Now we're fixing to do some spaghetti sauce, and I might not be able to do it very often, but I love that zucchini with the spaghetti. So we're going to be doing that. What do you need for canning Kentucky Wonder beans? You need a canner, a pressure canner, and you're going to need some salt, and we use non-iodized.
Non-iodized salt, yes.
And water, and beans, and jars, and lids.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's about it. What fertilizer is good for yellow wax bush beans? You don't want anything that's got nitrogen in it hardly. That's why you always see me go with something like 824 or 688, something like that. You want high phosphorus and high potassium, low nitrogen, because beans make their own nitrogen once they get up and get going. You just need a little bit of nitrogen in the soil to get it up and get it going, and once you do that, it should rock and roll after that if you put the fertilizer to it heavy enough. Now, that's the problem. We've talked about this many, many times in the past about using organic fertilizers. You use an organic fertilizer like bone meal or blood meal or any of this kind of stuff, you get about an 8% usage out of it up front, and then it takes about 4 months for it to break down where the plant can use the rest of it, and by then, most people's plants are gone. They're over with and done, and the stuff is just now getting where you can utilize it. So if you plan on using organic fertilizers, and we do, put it in the soil about 4 months before you plan on planting anything to give it time to start breaking down.
All right, Poppy Seeds wants to know, have I ever tried tomatillos? Yes.
Yes.
One year, Danny and I planted, 4 or 5 plants?
Yes.
And
We
made
had a
so
pile
many
of them.
tomatillos, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I used them in salsas and stuff like that. I think green, what is it, salsa verde?
Yeah, salsa verde. Yeah.
That was it.
And in Mexico, the tomatillos are classified as a noxious weed because once you let them get started growing, they'll just keep coming up every year and they'll eventually just take a place over.
Okay.
When do you harvest elephant garlic? Sherry says. When you start seeing elephant garlic, most of it will go up and make a seed head on top of it, and it'll have seeds in it. And when the bottom leaves after that begin to turn yellow and start dying, coming up the plant, once it's headed and then the bottom leaves begin to die, it's time to harvest it.
All right.
Anyone ever grow blueberry, cherry, tomatoes? Brian, yes, we do. And have, and once you do, you will always have, because
they are very prolific.
They just keep coming back.
If you let some of them fall in the ground, they'll keep on. We save seeds. We have not only the blueberry, but we had 5 varieties of the blue indigo
They're
series.
in the indigo series.
Yeah, all of them are in the indigo. They were different sizes. The blueberry is one of the smaller ones, and then we had
the cherry, the apple. And gosh, there was 2 or 3 more of them. I can't remember.
Yeah,
up to
about
big
the
ones.
size.
Yeah.
So we do have seeds for all of those, but the blueberry's the one we planted the most and loved. Okay, so we're getting around.
We are at 8 o'clock.
All my winners contact me by email. What sweet potato varieties do we plant?
We've got the Murasaki 29s from Japan. We've got the
blue ones.
We've got the purple sweet potatoes. We've got the Beauregards. We've got the Georgia Jets. We've got
Mr. Owls.
The Mr. Owl Evangelines. We've got white sweet potatoes, which are
and our regular old.
Well, our old variety that we have.
That we have no clue what it is.
And then we have the Covingtons.
Yeah, that was the other one.
There's one more, and it's slipping my mind. But that's 8 of them so far. We got 9, and I can't remember the 9th one.
I think you were counting the 2 different white ones. Because
I only said one white.
I know, but I think we have 2 different kinds. Because some of them have a pink tint, and some of them
Some of them have a pink skin with a white flesh, and some have a white flesh with a white skin.
Yeah, so the Nancy Halls and the Triumphs are the 2 kind we've always planted.
But we got another variety from Hall's Tools. I can't remember what it was.
Let's see. So,
Tammy Gear, use fish emulsion and Dr. Earth's Bloom and Grow. No, Golden Bloom. I'm gonna get that right one of these days. Golden Bloom high phosphorus liquid fertilizer, but just be aware it stinks, and I think that's what helps keep the bugs away.
All right. So we're going to have a prayer request. We're going to say a prayer, and Danny will have his tip, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Did you write something down?
No, I didn't write it down.
I asked you, did you have something? You didn't tell me.
No, I didn't.
He don't have a tip.
Okay, I'll...
Sorry.
Okay.
So, I had an uncle, well, his wife passed away, which would be my aunt, yesterday, and we want to remember my family as they have the funeral tomorrow.
Yep.
We want to remember our friend that lost her daughter last week.
Yes. Ashley.
Yes.
No, Ashley and Dean.
Oh, yeah, we want to remember Ashley and Dean Weaver. Ashley's been doing pretty good through her treatments. BJ, from what I've seen, has been doing pretty good through his.
Shep's wife, Tracy.
Yes. A friend here in town, his wife is going to be going through some cancer treatments.
Yeah.
Trying trying to think.
There's just so many. Bama on here.
Yeah.
Bama.
Bama.
Bama. I'll get it right here in a minute. I got about 5 right now. There's lots of people. Guys, put your prayer requests up. There's lots and lots and lots of people that's having problems right now. And it's going to get worse with the radiation that the earth is going through
And
right
they're saying,
now.
please pray for all mothers tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow's a good day and tomorrow's a bad day. It depends on how you look at it. And it depends on what side of the line you're on. I mean,
Elisa, her dad.
if you're a mother who has had a great life and got great kids, it's great. But if you're a mother who's lost children,
Auntie M's
you know, it's
ne-
not
vehicle.
so good.
Auntie M says for a running vehicle that she can afford.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hello, Becky Hoffman from Mississippi.
Liz says she has nephew having major surgery, grandson with special needs. Pray for my sister's children. She passed away this Tuesday, and these children are really hurting. It always hurts when you lose someone. I mean, you know, the thing about it is loss, and it's something that we have to learn to deal with. I've lost my mama, my daddy, my brother, a spouse. Miss Wanda's lost her father so far, and it's one of those things that when you lose, it's not the end of the world, because you're going to get to see them again if they go to heaven. You're going to get to meet them again, and if they could come, if you was to ask them if they wanted to come back, they'd tell you no.
And Lisa got a praise report. Her dad got an all clear.
Great,
So
great.
we like praise reports.
Love praise
too.
reports. Tim says tomorrow is his wife's 60th birthday.
Happy
birthday,
Tim's
wife. I don't know who you are, but happy birthday.
We were thinking the same thing. That's not unusual. People come in all the time, but Jesse has fibromyalgia. My son Jesse, that reminded me.
Oh yeah,
Has gout. He gets it pretty bad sometimes, and he's a young man, but he's gotten it for several years now. So we want to remember him. And Sunshine said their daughter.
Yes.
Hey y'all. Friend that's having Parkinson and memory issues, and some of that. Well, let's just leave that for now.
Okay. ABCXYZ's got a friend having chemo this week from cancer. Okay.
Do I plant herbs in my high tunnel that grow all winter? Yes, I do.
Yes, she does.
I have several. Over on Crazy Days, I do updates. I usually try to do one once a week, but here lately it's got to where it's about once a month. I've got one on my camera now. Actually, probably got two. So we're going to end up skipping one and just jumping to the other one that's been there for 2 or 3 days. Maybe I'll get it up this week.
Raw Food Writer says, do you have any tips for people with vertigo? There is a guy on YouTube called Dr. Berg. He's helped me tremendously with mine. There is a procedure you go through with laying your head a specific way. You move it a specific way. You sit up, you move over, you swap it around. You do specific things in specific ways. I also learned this technique from Home Health when they came to take care of my mom, because my mom had a stroke and she had vertigo. I learned the techniques from them also, and it's but Dr. Berg on YouTube, and look up about vertigo, and he's got some fantastic videos on there.
There's Black Tropics Homestead. Hello.
Okay, we're gonna go to the Lord in prayer, and then we'll see what we got going
fill
on.
out a second story window.
Okay, Nancy. Father, we come to you tonight, and we thank you so much. We've been a great week. We got a lot accomplished this week. Been a lot of bad weather for a lot of people, but the weather's been decent for us, I have to say. And thank you for the rain. Thank you for being so good to us, Lord. And for those who've lost their gardens, we know a friend of ours had all their corn blown down. So we pray for them that their corn will, maybe not a total loss, but that it'll stand back up and maybe it can recover. And Lord, there's many people that's had hail damage. We've had hail damage, and there's just different things been going on around the world. These storms that we've been seeing are only going to get worse in the next year or so, and so we're going to try to continually pray that you protect all of our places from these storms now. And Lord, all the people here tonight who mentioned cancer and chemo and loved ones who's having problems, people needing automobiles, Father. There's a tremendous amount of things here going on. Unspoken prayer requests, children, just you name it, Father. They've all been here. You're the great physician. If I tried to remember all of them, I'd forget somebody, but you, Lord, see all of them. When people post their requests here, it's just like asking it to the Lord, because you're visiting us here tonight. Your Spirit's with us, and you see it as well as we do. And we pray that you would be kind enough and show grace and mercy and answer as many of them as you can, Father, in a way that will best amplify and glorify the kingdom of God, and at the same time be a blessing to the people also. Lord, it is our desire to see everyone come to know you before it's everlasting too late. I don't want to stand at the great white throne judgment and have anyone look at me and say, hey, you never told me about the Lord. Father, I take that time out of my life every day to tell people about you. And I pray, Father, that people will have eyes to see and ears to hear. They'll be open and they'll be receptive. Throw traditions out the window. Forget everything they've ever been taught. And look strictly to Christ for all their answers and to the Spirit for the guidance. The Scripture tells us that the world knows nothing of the Spirit, and only those who know you know of the Spirit, Lord. We pray for discernment for all of us. We pray for our country as this, I'm going to say Section 42 bill, time ran out, Lord, and our borders are now opened up, and I pray, Father, that something can be done, and that it can be done rapidly, Father, before it's everlasting too late now. Go with us. Help us to have a good night's rest. Forgive us where we failed you now. We ask these things in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Woo.
Oh.
Man, we done 12 minutes after 8. We getting over on pinball's time. We have to watch out here.
All right, you got to do your tip.
Well, for a tip for tonight. Okay. We are in a phase right now that the earth is going through. Now, you can believe this, you don't believe it, I don't care. It doesn't make me any difference. But I'm just going to tell you the honest to goodness, hard fact truth here. The earth is going through some changes right now. It's going to go through some really hard, serious magnetic changes between now and the end of next year. As it goes through these changes, lightning storms are going to get more ferocious. Things are going to be getting worse and worse as far as weather anomalies are concerned. And it's not necessarily man that's doing this. There's things going on in our solar system that is going to be causing this. There's events that are cyclical that come around every so many thousand years that's going to be leading us into these cycles of huge magnetic excursions going on around us. People are going to be actually losing their minds. Now listen to me when I tell you this. People are going to lose their minds. People with schizophrenia, people that have dual personalities, all this kind of stuff, split personality. It's going to get way worse and way harder on them. And people are going to have times that they're going to just like lose their mind. They're not going to understand what's going on. And it's nothing more than the magnetic fields of the earth are shifting and changing. This is one reason why we're actually putting out now, even though I've been doing this for over 30 years, we're putting out now about electroculture, because with all the electromagnetic currents that the earth is going to be facing between now and the end of next year, it is the prime time to take advantage of this electroculture stuff going on in the atmosphere, all these magnetic fields and frequencies and all this kind of stuff, because they are going to be on the rise in the next year. As we have the alignment of the planets in 2024, we haven't had since, what is it, 79 AD, something like that. This is something that doesn't happen very often, and it creates chaos in the solar system when it does. And the earth is going to experience this. And this is why we're telling people to use the electroculture at this particular time in history. It's why I'm pushing it. And if you want to see a channel that really does do a lot of justice to this information, my friend, who usually watches a lot here on Saturday nights, David Dubai, has a video he just put out about this. And David does a fantastic job of breaking it down and discussing it and helping you to understand it. I think he has a 1 or 2 part series he's doing on this, from my understanding. Now he hasn't told me that, but just judging from the words that he's using in his videos, I'm gonna say there may be another section coming to this. But guys, that is my tip for tonight. Get involved in this electroculture. Even if you don't believe it, give it a try. With all this magnetic events that's fixing to happen on the earth, give it a try and see if it doesn't work for you. If it doesn't work, then move on and say, hey, it didn't work for me. But if it works for you, we get tons of emails, tons of comments, people thanking us for helping them get started in electroculture because they're seeing a 10, 20, 30, 40% increase in flowering of their plants, fruit production, plant growth, all this kind of stuff.
Within 2 weeks.
Within a 2-week period, they're seeing this. We're seeing it. I mean, I've got an event going on over at Pecan Grove, and I'm working on with a nylon situation over there. Then I'm going to try to take an ohm meter and see if I can't get a reading out of this. Is the reason why
to see what's going on.
To see what's going on, because it looks like something from Planet of the Apes is taking place here. I mean, stuff is growing way too fast. And I'm trying to figure out if this nylon stuff I got going on plays a part in this.
David's channel is Adapt
2030. Yes, it's not David the Good. David the Good,
he's a
friend of ours too.
That's not the one we're talking about.
But that's not it. This is Adapt 2030. David Dubai.
Yeah, Adapt 2030.
Yeah.
Yes, I am tired.
Kimberly, yes, we have videos on electroculture. We have several of them. Some of them are over on Patreon.
Most of them are on Deep South.
Most of them are on Deep South, though. But guys, it is well worth your time to invest some time into this. Because what do you have to lose if you do the experiment and it doesn't work? All you can say is, hey, it didn't work. You know? But if it does work, it's great. Free range home is called Adapt 2030.
All right, we got to go?
Yep.
I'm just typing.
Oh, okay. Guys, we're going to jump off of here. Ms. Wanda's trying to put a few things in here before we jump off. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there if you're a mother. And it's not the end of the world if things don't go well for you. Because technically it's just... It's a great time to celebrate. It's a great time to celebrate the mothers, you know. If you've lost your mother, and like I have, then hey, it's a
day to remember.
It's a day just to remember.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, don't get all upset if everything don't go just like you think it should. So guys, thank y'all for wishing Wanda a happy Mother's Day, and we will jump off of here now, and we will see you in the next video.
Thank you,
Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.